Did she really say that? Real talk with female entrepreneurs and a few good men that will shock and surprise you. Hi, my name is Heidi Mima.
And I'm Chef Katrina, and we co-host this amazing podcast where we are interviewing women and, like you said, a few men around the world of entrepreneurship, but mainly women, because women really have something to say, and I think it needs to finally be heard, especially when it comes to the world of business. So thanks for tuning in and listening in to our podcast.
Did she really say that?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to welcome you, Mercedes, to our virtual stage here for the Breakthrough Creator Summit. You are an incredible woman who has built something that I didn't even think about. Like, you have really blown me away with what you've done with mystery shopping, and we'll dive into that a little bit. But I really want these women to know who you are and just get to know a little bit about your backstory of how this all kind of came around. So, Mercedes, would you just share with us this journey that brought you here to being an entrepreneur to doing what you do today?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here and chat with you and just lean into this. So, listen, I'm just going to start out by saying I am like totally a regular person from Indiana in the cornfields, okay? And I still am just shocked at like how my journey has unfolded, okay? Because I'm like, I have to pinch myself. I'm like, but I'm just like this random person, you know? But listen, my entrepreneur journey, I'll be honest, it's something that was inside of me from the time I was a little girl, right? So if you talk to my parents, they'll say, "Oh, do you remember when you used to do this? You started this business, or you tried to sell this, or you did." I mean, anything you can think of, I promise you, I've tried it, I've done it, you know. But I think just having that as something that I just naturally inherited helped propel me into where I am now. So just a little bit about me. I currently reside in Indiana with my husband. We've got two girls. And so it wasn't until my husband and I had started dating when we were just in the early stages of dating that the opportunity for mystery shopping kind of just literally showed up at one of our double dates. It was like a double date. It was my husband and his one of his best friends and just a young girl that he was like casually getting to know, right? And I remember she looked over at me and she goes, "Hey, you wouldn't be interested in mystery shopping, would you?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, that really exists, you know?" And so one thing led to another, got my foot in the industry. And I think, like a lot of entrepreneurs, what started as a side hustle or a hobby then turned into a full blown, you know, business. And so that's kind of been my journey, from then until now.
So I have a question around that. So you were sitting there, somebody said, "Hey, we've got this thing called mystery shopping." And I hear women talk about it, or even in general, it's like, "Oh, it's a scam. People are doing all sorts of, crazy things. You're not going to get paid for that." And yet you took this a step further. Like, you went and started mystery shopping. And then did you see a gap that you could like look at? You're like, "Okay, I can't be the only one like either struggling with how to get mystery shopping." Like, what was that kind of experience for you? Kind of give us a little story around that.
Yeah. So going from being the mystery shopper to actually recruiting and training others, what I saw when I first got started, I mean, it was pure joy when I started because, coming from me and my husband were working really hard, but we had just enough money to like pay our bills. We were
Mm.
still eating on, the dollar menu at McDonald's. And back then, I think Wendy's had like a little dollar menu. I mean, that's what the lifestyle we were doing and we were totally fine and grateful, but we couldn't afford to go to, these fancy restaurants or going on a vacation and things like that. So when I first started, it was just pure shock and joy that I would be getting paid to do these things, right? These things that we would have never been able to afford. As I continued to do these mystery shops and bring in this money and get all these things for free, I realized nobody else is talking about this. why haven't I heard of it till now? And matter of fact, the girl who got me in the door, I remember doing that first mystery shop and then calling her and saying, "Hey, this was amazing. How do I do more?" And she literally legit was like, "I don't know." I was like, "What do you mean you don't know? She worked for one of the mystery shopping providers." And I said, "What do you mean you don't know?" Even her working in that industry for that, she had no idea. So there was definitely a gap between people not knowing. There was no
Yeah.
awareness. There was no understanding how big this industry was and is. And so I kind of had to just go to work myself, as far as in like figuring this out. I had no roadmap, I had no teacher, I had nothing. And so I remember for years I would, you know, put the kids to bed around 8 o'clock. And then I would stay up till 1 in the morning every night. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm figuring this out." You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm figuring this out. And then one thing led to another, and people start asking me, "Well, what are you doing?" I mean, it started out just for me, right? Because I just was
Right.
like, how do I do this? How do I make the most of this? And then people slowly started asking me, how do I get started? Or what is this? How does it work? I thought it was a scam. And so then I started teaching people. And for all of the entrepreneurs out there, listen, start with what you have. I didn't have nothing. I
Mhm.
had PayPal, right? So I would tell people, well, this will be funny because the very first I did like a class, right, to start. And I remember having this conversation with my mom, and I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Nobody's probably going to show up, and I'm going to charge them $3 because I don't know." So I literally had this first class. 3 people were on. They paid $3 a piece for me to teach them for a couple hours over the phone. Webinars weren't like a
No,
thing.
they weren't. You had
So
teleconferences.
that's exactly what it was. It was freaking 1-800 free teleconference.com that I used.
Yep.
I know. So that is literally how we started. And I thought, "Oh, I don't know. This is kind of, you know what I mean? Like my vision back then, it wasn't like thinking that this was going to turn into anything, but I promise you, little did I know. I mean, it just snowballed and people were like, "Oh my gosh, I heard." And then, people start telling people, and slowly I was able to get the funds to actually, do a little better than a phone call. But
Hey,
yes,
we all use what we can and when we can as it's available. Let's just put it that way.
exactly. And
Yep.
and people and to the point is authenticity. I was just myself. You know what I mean? Like y- having a phone call didn't even they're like, "Oh yeah, sure." They trusted me enough. It wasn't about being fancy. It wasn't about anything but being myself and giving them valuable information.
I love that. You know what's it's so great when you talk about your story of how you got it all started is that it is the journey, right? It's like you said, I got chills when you said I did this first for me. And then I had people start asking me how I'm making this money, how is this working? And I just also had this quick question that popped up in the back of my head around this. How big is this industry? 'Cause I don't think women really know how big mystery shopping is because I can hear them as they're like listening to this conversation. They're like, how big is this industry?
Yeah, well, it's global and it's billions of dollars. I mean, it's Spain. There's, a lot of people think, "Oh, well, is this just in the States?" No, this is overseas. I've got a girlfriend who she mystery shops. Her specialty is hotel mystery shopping, and she literally goes all over the world to do hotel mystery shops. So, the last one that she had done, China. She went to China to do 2 mystery shops at 2 different hotels, and I was like, "Girl, what?" I mean, she's been all over the world. This is a big industry, and I mean, you could travel all over the world or just right in your little town, you know?
My jaw is on the ground because you are opening just so many doors that I didn't even think about when it came to mystery shopping. I know we've dabbled in it. My business partner and I, we've gotten in we've done the apartment reviews. That's always been fun. We've done the free oil change. So like you go in for these so we've started testing this and it is great because you kind of just you sit back and you go through it and you can pick and choose what you want. And that's the beauty of this. Like there is something for everyone. And I am shocked how many companies are looking for mystery shoppers to shop their businesses. Like, I did not realize how massive it was. And like you said, I was like, this is mind blowing. So
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh. Okay, so let's dive into the marketing side of this. So you built this amazing company. We're going to talk a little bit more at the end of this, ladies. So don't despair. Like, you really want to know more about mystery shopping, you're going to learn about mystery shopping.
To listen to this entire interview with Mercedes Eckart, you absolutely want to head over to the Create Her Business Summit. The link's down below in the show notes. And for just $97, you're going to get access not only to her training, but 26 other women and a few men that really have highlighted what they're doing differently to build that $1 million business. They're here to support you and really change everything you thought you knew about business. These women are challenging the norm. And Mercedes, talk about thinking outside the box. And this is the ingenuity and the creativity I'm asking more women to stand in as we look at what might business really look like for us as we transition into this world of understanding that women do business differently. You know, Mercedes talks about it, and you're going to hear it. She talks about how she found the gap between what was out there, and then she just kind of followed this path to building this company. It wasn't what she thought she was going to do, but it's not only transforming her life, it's transforming the lives of hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of individuals that are actually using mystery shopping to subsidize and help build their business. Oftentimes, ladies, we want to know, how do we get business loans? How do we make money while we're trying to get our business up off the ground? The simplicity of using something like mystery shopping allows for you to do what you normally do anyways and get paid for it. I love how Mercedes positions this inside of this interview, this entire conversation around being authentic and then learning how to use the tools that are already out there to help you grow and sustain your business. This is just the tip of the iceberg with this interview. So I invite you, really dive in, listen in, get lifetime access to these incredible women, and find the mentor that's really going to help you redefine what it is that you want to build in your business. So thanks for joining in on today's Did She Really Say That? I am your co-host, Chef Katrina, and I invite you, really, take a look at the Create Her Business Summit. Listen in. I promise you the value you're going to get from all of these women and the 3 men that we invited to the stage is worth every penny. The coaching, the training, the messaging, from speaking on stage to branding to crowdfunding, you're going to get different looks and different viewpoints of what it looks like to build a business. And I invite you in to play in that world. This truly makes the biggest difference in how you grow your business. So show notes down below in the details. Grab the link to the Create Her Business Summit and meet these extraordinary men and women that can show you exactly how to build a $1 million business. Not just for the money, but for the impact. We'll see you on the next episode.